Welcome to this look at a map I missed on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on AUKRUG HOMFELD. This map is in the Maps I Missed series with MrSealyp. This is by LSHUB Niklas. It is 269.53 megabytes download. It has 23 required mods which download automatically. They are listed in the description. This is a one-to-one representation of the real place. This has had a few updates, obviously, since its initial release. Again, don't know why I missed it, don't know how I missed it, but I did, so I'm back on here and we'll have a look. I was talking to DJ Gohan about this other day, and I said I wasn't sure if I was going to carry on with the series. And he said he was enjoying it, and a few people messaged me and said, I didn't play on the map, I don't play on the maps unless I see your map tours, which I hadn't even thought about. So I'm going to carry on. Now, this comes with a very important message you need to know straight off the bat. And it says, when you start the map, press P, which is on PC, but in our case, if you're on console, open up the store menu, go to a tractor and change the tyre configuration once. You will see a difference. Look at the screen now. If we go into here, pick a tractor, any tractor. Remember your tractor. Change that. Change that. That's all you've got to do. Come back out, and now look. All that dark patch at the bottom is a little bit lighter now. Mr. Brightside, that does come with the proviso now. If you leave it on dark, it's really dark and it seems a little bit dingy in all the dark areas. With it like this, I found the map to be incredibly bright, completely the other way when you turn lights on and stuff like that. So much so that when I came on, I thought my TV was playing up. I thought potentially since yesterday, don't know how, something had happened between my PlayStation and my TV. And I started adjusting the picture, I started adjusting the contrast and the colour balance and the brightness, and I kept thinking, this doesn't make any sense. Why would it have changed from yesterday? So then I thought, hang on. I came out of the map and went into my test map on on the Western Wilds, and it was fine. So the map is quite bright, I will say that. So we're near the main farm, so we can talk about slot count and that kind of stuff. Slot count on all three game modes is 1,470. You start with all the buildings, all the machinery, all the equipment. What is interesting is there are separate farms around the map we're going to get to and we're going to purchase. Some are sort of contractor yards, some are just yards with silage clamps. Pretty much all of the buildings, bar a couple, and the productions, you can remove completely. I got the slot count down to 987. You can also remove most of the fencing everywhere as well. So if the fencing's not your thing, you can remove the fencing as well. So you can probably get that slot count down even lower if you wanted to. So as far as the map goes, this is it. Now, again, this is important to know. On New Farmer, we start with all of this. Now, this comes with the verges, the periphery, or however you want to refer to it. If you click on that, that's 10,781,328. On farm management start from scratch, you don't start with any land at all, so you don't start with that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big proposition to build up to. Plus, it encompasses loads of forest and bits and bobs around the outside, which you might want to take advantage of, for example. So that's something to be aware of the start. There's also down here, and again, this is part of the verges. We have got a chicken barn, chicken pen, and some of the productions. As far as I could tell, even on farm management start from scratch, you could still access and utilize that chicken barn, even though you didn't own the land. So it's just something to be aware of. We do also start with, on all three game modes, 4 productions. We start with the seed and fertilizer factory, the pallet factory, the grain mill, and the sawmill, which we will get to later on and have a look at. There's no sleep trigger on the map. Actually, should have gone back to there. Let's go back to it. There's no sleep trigger. Our start farm is actually here on plot 54, and there's no sleep trigger. That is, again, we've got cows there, but it feels more like a contractor's yard. It's a curiosity. There's no silo at this one, but there is a silo at a farm later on. But you have got the capacity to change that if you want to. There are no custom crops. Contracts are available on this map. I've talked about productions, talked about that, and that. Yeah, I think we're all right. So, come out of there. Build mode. What has been added in by the map maker? As far as I can tell, in addition to the required mods, as I've said, that are listed in the description, if we go to silos and we go out, we've got that one just there. Small silage bunker, which is under AUKRUG HOMFELD. And then the other thing was decoration and others. And we've got a whole load of signs and various different things. Lamp posts, lighting, street lighting, all sorts. So all of that is all added in by the map maker. Other than that, everything else is required mods under the build mode. So we're going to turn. We started by this little building, which I'm not quite sure why. Like I say, it's not a sleep trigger, but it's not showing as a sleep trigger. Let's head over to the main farm. Is it just me? I don't know. It just seems very bright. When you look out across to see where the wind turbines are, they're very hard to see against the skyline. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyesight. Maybe overnight my eyesight has taken a turn for the worse, which is, of course, potentially possible. So, cow barn here for 200 cows. Just around the corner here, we do have our little telehandler with bucket and some other attachments. If we come down the side here, we've got a couple of trailers. It does seem very crisp and clean and neat, and you know, it's got a nice suite of, again, I suppose because it is a one-to-one. I'll read what it says, just, you know, I'm not going mad. At least I don't think I'm going mad. Welcome to AUKRUG HOMFELD. This map is almost a one-to-one replica from real life. AUKRUG HOMFELD is a district of AUKRUG and is located in the beautiful Schleswig-Holstein. There you go. From the author. Harvester, header and header trailer. Let me roll through these. We do actually start with, just here, we have some herbicide. And we have some fertilizer. At the back, we have some seed. So they do provide us with a few bits already. And then we start with our vehicles and machinery, we have our vehicles and machinery just here. And like I said, all three game modes, you start with exactly the same stuff. So cultivators and ploughs and seeder, sprayer. All very nice. I'm going to grab this and bring this out of the yard for the moment. What is part of the start farm, and you have to actually go out to the main entrance. I'm surprised there wasn't a gap in the fence here. But that being said, if we go into build mode, I'll show you what I mean. We go to here. We can remove fence sections. Now, obviously, these bits here aren't technically part of the farm. They could be part of the verges that are owned, but you can remove pretty much fencing all over the place if you want to. But if we come out across here, I can put the fencing back, not a problem. We have got an overflow liquid manure tank just there, and across the way, which is also part of the farm, we do have a large silage clamp, or large-ish. I suppose that is large, isn't it? It's taller than me. It's large. A couple of sheds just here, and plenty of lighting. Interesting amount of lighting. Why is there so much lighting here, all pointing into this middle bit? I'm wondering. No, because it'd be too short. I'm so saying, was that lighting supposed to be over here by that? That's interesting. But anyway, again, all of these buildings can be removed if you want to. But they are all here. What I was going to do is actually show you a picture. If you do decide to remove all the buildings, I'm not going to show you on every single plot. There's a couple of ones I've taken pictures of, but like I say, you can at most, and I will point out a couple of buildings I couldn't remove. But if you decide to remove all the buildings, including fencing and stuff here at the main farm, it will look like this. Super duper. Right, let's go and grab the tractor. Let's head around. I'd say I do like there's a lot of signage around, and it just kind of works. It fits. It's, you know, it really does have a nice feel to it. Now again, I don't know. whether it's one of those ones that potentially, if I was away on holiday, now often if a map drops and there are a lot of required mods listed, I'll look and think, oh no, because there's a lot you've got to show, and there's a lot of additional stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to download, and especially when I'm away, often the internet speed is incredibly slow. So when I'm trying to download things, it takes forever. So if a new map comes out while I'm away, if I've got my PlayStation with me, to download a map and 23 required mods as well takes ages. So again, potentially it could just have been when I was away, I just didn't do it because, you know, there was a lot, maybe. I don't know. I'm going this way just again. I just normally pick a route. I'll show you the way I've gone, just so it kind of takes in as efficiently as I... You know, there are probably more efficient ways of doing it, but I love this. I took a screenshot, and it depends which one I've ended up using. I might end up using all of them. Through a sort of tree-lined roadway, trackway, and it had a little pond to the side and flowers and trees, and it was that juxtaposition that between this man-made slab, concrete, sharp angled sides, and I think in the distance was like a wind turbine sat there, in amongst all this natural kind of. I'm feeling very, I don't know. Is it prophetic? Is that the word? I don't know. But I mean, you look everywhere you turn. This is one of those maps. I kept thinking, oh, that's nice. That's a nice view. That'd make a good thumbnail. And you know, I make that noise. I do it out loud. So, as we swing down here, we've got this plot. Now, this plot is an interesting one because this has got one of the start productions, but we don't own the land that it's on. I do need to put some money in. We've got a shed here, and we've got a shed behind it, which aren't technically linked and look like they're on separate little bits. But again, let me see if I can do it here if I don't own the land. Can I remove the fencing? Yeah, I can. So where you've got all these separate little bits of fencing separating all these little plots, you can remove it all if you want to. So we've got this building here, this brick shed, this shed here, and over here we've got our seed and fertilizer production building. So we are currently, I'll show you where we are. This was the main farm. I cut the gap in the fence and we could have come out here, should have probably come out there. Followed this track along here and then took this, or this road, then this track round past those houses, down to here, and we're here at plot 55, which is, I can afford to get there, we'll get there now. So 40,992. Now I don't need to buy it because there's nothing else on there. Actually, I don't need to buy it. And we do actually already start with and own the seed and fertilizer production, which is there. That building can also be removed, as can the sheds, once you own the land. So again, if you want to reduce the slot count, if you want to put different productions on, you absolutely can. So this is the building. If we swing around the back, I could show you from the main menu, but you know, this is where the triggers and stuff are. So we can make seed from wheat, seed from barley, and seed from oats. Those three requiring in the recipe the different crop types with liquid fertilizer, and you'll get seed out. Then we've got the same again, seed from wheat, barley and oat, but requiring it with slurry. And then we've got solid fertilizer that can be made using manure and water. So if you want to produce seed and solid fertilizer here, you absolutely can. Across the way, we've got the large chicken building. I'm going to just jump out here and whiz across through the bushes. Just here, 1,500 chickens can be placed in this facility. You'll see what I mean. Is it just me? You wait till I turn the lights on and tell me what you think. That's quite bright, isn't it? I thought it might be me, but... And I haven't changed anything else. No other settings on my PlayStation, on my TV, nothing has changed. So, yeah, I'm puzzled. Like I say, I'm just assuming it's like maybe a slight overexposure on the map. But this has had several updates as well. So it's not like this is a new map. At this point, I would be saying potentially we'll get an update. As far as I know, this is it. This is the thing. So. The other curious thing with this is we've got pallet production. There's a bit of forestry around. There is a sawmill. And it's one of those things that normally a map will have pallet production if you've got a lot of productions that require pallets as part of it. This one doesn't. Nothing else requires pallets as far as I'm aware. But the other curiosity with this is your pallet production is here, and that's fine. We can make pallets. Bring wood, and it will do pallets. Now it says, that recipe says pallets and wood chip. That says outgoing products, pallets. Doesn't mention wood chip. So I don't know where the wood chip goes. But what we also have next door is the sale of pallets, which usually would be somewhere else on the map. So you produce your pallets and you would take them somewhere to sell them. To have them on site, and this is, I suppose it's almost like a showroom type thing. You're building the pallets here in your factory, then this is where you would sell them to customers. That's the route I'm going down. That's how I'm reconciling it in my head, so my brain can cope with it. I guess the telling thing is going to be later on if they drop mods. Going on to my mod review. If I go on to... No, I did go on... Like I said, I did go back onto my map, did check, and it did seem to be absolutely fine. If I go back on there later on and it is really bright, then something's happened, and I don't know what. I have to go all through my PS5 settings that potentially something has accidentally tripped out. I don't know. I haven't changed anything, so I don't know. Grain mill that we do start with is owned on all 3 game modes. So standard, wheat, barley, oats, sorghum, with flour being the product coming out. What I am going to do at this point, I'm going to put some money in. I'm going to put some government subsidy signs just on one of the plots somewhere. Because when we get to the next plot, I might be able to afford this one, but we've got a couple of others we want to buy. So we came round here, we've done a sweep through this little bit here. We're here at the grain mill. We look up here, we've got plot 64. Now plot 64 is only 52 grand, so I can afford to buy it. If I do that and that, nothing else changes, but you do get the land. And on that land, we have got a fuel point. There are a couple of sheds and 2 silage clamps. The other thing I was going to point out, actually while we're here, this plot here, which we don't own, which has the grain mill on. So whilst we do own the grain mill, we don't own the land it's on. That plot there, plot 59, has this little track which leads to this here. That, if I throw the drone up, if I get my angles right, is this track here, which leads you to this little plot here, and hidden under the trees, we've got a couple of silage clamps here as well. So once you purchase that plot of land, you'll get a couple of extra silage clamps. Right next to the cornfield, so I'm assuming they're going to be doing corn silaging. So if that's the thing you want to do, that'll give you the option. I just thought I would come out here and just show you what you get on this plot. So again, kind of a contractor's yard. If what you're doing is producing silage for, you know, the local farms and stuff. I do like all around the map. You've got all of this kind of split level built into hillsides. I like that on a map. It feels very natural and very flowing. That a farm would do a little bit of landscaping to build where they've got some spare land, but haven't got the finances or the equipment to completely level an entire area, like we have in game with the landscaping tool, where you can just flatten entire, you know, plots. So yeah, silage clamps, couple of sheds here on this plot. I'm going to head back out to the main road by the grain mill, and we'll go along to the next plot. I'll see you down there, and when I get down there, hopefully I'll put some more. Actually, well, I could probably just borrow money from the bank. I don't need government subsidy signs, because I don't think the plots of land we need to buy are going to be too expensive, judging by the prices so far. I didn't really talk about field prices, did I? I'm just thinking that on the main map. I showed you what we start with on New Farmer. Field prices are pretty average. I mean, we've got some small fields, some small plots, building through medium out to large, and prices are pretty much what you'd expect. Like plot 28 there, 57,000. Not horrendous. A small plot there, 28 grand. Then we go up to something maybe a little bit more mid-sized, maybe 377, 184. Then the larger plots like this one here, 874. I think the biggest one is this one. That's just over 1 million, 1,340,000. But it's one of the largest fields on the map, and you have got a lot of fields and plots and stuff you can build up to get to sort of money where you can afford to buy a plot that size, or just put money in. Again, how you play the game is entirely up to you. You just enjoy it. Now, I'm acutely aware at this point, because Giants have announced Farming Simulator 25 and everybody's excited for Farming Simulator 25 and people are waiting for Farming Simulator 25. The thing you've got to remember is we are still in June. We've got July, August, September, October, 4 months. and then to the 12th of November is when FS25 releases. So we've got another 4 months of Farming Simulator 22. I think people seem to be under the impression that's it, Farming Simulator 22 is done, we're just waiting now for the new version. I mean, we are technically waiting for the new version. We're in a 3-year cycle, and that 3rd year is always a long one. It always seems to, you know, take a long time. But there's still going to be mods dropping. There's still going to be maps. I've still got maps that I missed that I'm going to be going back to and having a look at. I know when I spoke to DJ Graham the other day, he said he's doing a map revisited, and he's going back to maps that he played on previously. It's just, you know, just having a look at stuff. I'm sure we'll get to that point. We'll do our top 5s of mods, or our top 10s, or whatever it might be when we get sort of late in and almost for the new version coming out. It's always nice to do a roundup, but we're not there yet. We've got a way to go. So we're on plot 22. I'm just going to put some money in. We'll buy the plot of land, and I'll show you what's here. I do like this map. This is one of those ones. A lot of the maps, when you go in to borrow money from the bank, a lot of them are set to a maximum of 600,000. This one just let me keep going. I hit 600,000 waiting for it to stop. No. Got up to 1,100,000 and it was still letting me borrow, so huzzah! Happy days. So let's go back to that. I said I'd meet you down there and then carry on talking, but that's all right. So we went out to this plot here, came back to the main road, and we are now here. So plot 22. You can see the triggers and stuff are all there. I still tend to buy the land anyway. It's always a tricky one. Sometimes when the triggers and stuff are all showing, it will allow you to buy the animals, it will allow you to feed the animals and still operate them without utilising the fields. It depends, because actually this is a barn and not a pasture. So I suppose technically you don't have to, but if you want to sell any of the buildings and stuff, you would have to own the land. So we're at plot 22, 287,000, 232, buy that, and that. Triggers, the icon's already shown. We've got Farmer 800 silo, standard crop type just there. Triple garage just over the side there. 2 large silage clamps. Silage seems to be the thing. We open the gate here from the outside. We do have the ability on these to remove the railing, if you want to remove the railing, like that. And we've got a dialogue box just here for 104 cows. Put the railing back and close the gate. Feed triggers and bedding triggers are all clearly labelled. It's not too bad. Like I say, I did put 60 cows in here because I was curious to see if they were going to come out into here. But this land ends up just being a grass field. It's not a pasture for the cows themselves, which I always think is a shame. I know there's a lot of farms that have, you know, I have the cows out and then bring them into the barns in the winter. And some farms will keep them indoors all the time. Some will go the other way and they'll keep them outside all the time. I always think it's nice when the cows are out. I don't know what's the matter with me today. Anyway, we do have a manure heap just here. Now this farm, I was able to remove all the buildings. No, turn that back. I was able to remove some of the buildings, the silo, the silage clamps. What I couldn't move were these decorative containers. The manure heap I did, but this building here, this big shed here, I couldn't remove. And that shed there I couldn't remove. Everything else was no problem. I managed to remove everything else, just couldn't remove these 2 buildings. Not quite sure why. Liquid manure tank just there. These aren't, I think these are decorative as well. Yeah, these weren't bales for us to utilise. They haven't got animal, whilst they have got them in them, they are decorative. They don't have calves in the building. They're just calf igloos that have been put in for decorative purposes. From here, we'll go out the other side. I have to say, when I first did my prep and I was going around and thinking, okay, it's not too bad. It's not overly complicated. It's not, but there's a lot of information. There's not a lot of stuff to pass on. And again, it's this level of detail. I really do like all the signs and signposts, and maybe some people will feel it's a bit cluttered, it's a bit much. I will say this though, the main roads, the traffic is insanely fast. It does not hang about. We're going to go across diagonally and head up here to another plot, which is a pig farm, and the sawmill, which we also start with on all 3 game modes, which also can be removed if you want to. So if you want to run a different sawmill, you absolutely can. Onto a dirt track off the road. we come to here. I like, and I keep saying I do. The difference in ground options, the concrete plates here, that transition between all those different things, again, for me, makes it feel more kind of real. I guess, I don't know. I think when you look here, and you've got this water area here, little pond, you can imagine maybe it floods, maybe it gets boggy, the concrete's been put down so you don't get stuck in, I don't know. My brain just ticks over. So, from this farm here, we came out the back, there, we went diagonally across the crossroads there. Well, I say crossroads, it's a kind of spider. All the way up here, and we are now at plot 58, which will set you back 75,312. Do that, that, and that. And these appear. So again, lots of barn and building space, no problem at all there. We've got a seed and mineral feed silo, 54,300 litres. I think that's a combined one. Actually, I suppose the easiest way to do is if we go and buy that, then click on it again. Yeah, so it is combined, not 54,300 of each. So that's now full of seed. I can't put mineral feed in. That's fine. Pigs, we have got the ability for 300 pigs in the pig barn just here. 3 sheds down the side there, and then another one there, and then this cavernous structure in here. So that's your pig farm. See what I'm going to do, shall we just go on foot across the way? We might as well. Across the way just here, we have got the sawmill. As I said, all 3 game modes we do start with. Standard sawmill, wood in, planks and wood chips out. Just here. Again, building can be removed, so if you decide, actually, you know what, I'd rather have a different sawmill or something altogether different there, that's entirely up to you. So, these as well. All these bits, all these things, all combined to make something work and work well, you know? I always say, if they weren't there, you wouldn't know. But because they are there, it just adds a little bit something. Right, what we're going to do from here then is go from here, back down the road, back down to the, let's just call it a junction. A multi-way junction. And we're going to go this way. Because we're going to head to the vehicle store. There's no way, I suppose I could cut across the field. I will see you there. However I get there, I will see you there in a minute. So, turning just up here. Farm Dog doesn't like turning just up here. Don't know why. We have got the vehicle shop and workshop trigger. This is also the reset point on the map, so if we need to reset anything. I do like the paving on the ground here. There's a lot of things I like, you can tell. I keep saying I like. So this is the reset point, workshop trigger around the side there, vehicle shop trigger just there. Back out onto this track. Then we're going to go right then left, and we're actually going to take the track back across past that contractor's farm that we were at a while ago. It's the best option I can think of for getting to where we need to go. So, turn just here. And I keep saying, it's wonderful looking countryside. It's lovely. Sweeping, undulating. I haven't said undulating for a while. It is undulating. Turns out Farm Dog wasn't growling and barking at being at the farm shop. Because it's warm here, I'm indoors at the moment. Man cave yesterday got up to 34 degrees in the man cave. So I've got a few ideas of things that people have been suggesting all sorts of stuff, so thank you for that. But I'm indoors today, but I've got the windows open and stuff like that. So the problem is he can hear things way ahead of time. And it was a guy delivering something. He obviously heard the car pull up and the guy was going through packages outside. I was focusing on this, he was paying attention to that, hence the growling and barking. Anyway, delivery has been made. Let's go. So turn onto this road here. We're going to head up towards the biogas plant and biogas facility. I have double checked here. There we have another map like this the other day. So the other day, was it a week ago? However long ago it was. Seems like forever. Loads of solar panels here. This is really cool. Again, you kind of come out here and there's all this stuff stretching out. Drainage ponds, solar panels. Now these are on. So we've come from here, up here, cross past there again, and then we've come up here. So we've got all of these here. Now these are parts of the periphery, the verges, and technically, well not technically, on New Farmer we own that land. So I did wonder, one, whether they were removable, and they're not, and two, will they earn us money? And they don't. Actually, can we remove the fencing? No, can't remove the fencing on here. There's me saying you can remove most of the fencing. I did also then speed up time without any government subsidy signs or anything, and they don't earn you any money either. They are decorative. So, just so you're aware, if I don't mention it, I'm sure people ask, will they earn you any revenue? They don't. So, biogas plant. Now, this biogas plant, you need to buy the land for the icons to show up for you to be able to access it. Large area just here, 2 silage clamps, and some shed space, and the biogas plant. So, we are now here at plot 53. If I buy that for 49,248, not too expensive at all, our icons come up. It's a standard biogas plant with the regular types of things in and digestate out. Now, at this plot, you can sell the shed, you can sell the silage clamps, you can sell the light, or say the lighting, you can sell some of the lighting. This lighting here, I could sell. Those taller lights, I couldn't. If you do decide to do that, it will look like this. So you can change your configuration of the biogas plant area. You can't get rid of the biogas plant. That being said, you could put another one on, a smaller one, a different one, one that produces other stuff, or use the modular stuff and have it all working in conjunction, or however you want to go about it. You just can't remove the biogas plant itself. So what we're going to do now is head out back to just north of the farm, actually. And we're going to take another turning, and we're going to head out west. I suppose the thing is, with it depends on the actual required mods. If the required mods have a lot of new productions, and the thing is, some maps don't have a lot of required mods to download, but the map maker has put in a load of productions. That can often be far trickier and far more work for a map tour, because you have to work them all out, go through them all, see how they all interact, that kind of thing, than a map. Oh, I just missed the turning. I did. It's just there. Than a map like this, where the required mods you look and think, oh, that's a lot. But then, to be fair, most of those required mods are often decorative and often make up the farm buildings and silos and things around the main farm areas. So, as you're doing your map tour, you're showing those anyway, regardless what farm it is. So, yeah. We're heading all the way out here now, along this track. And again, picturesque is not the word. Whoa, I did that earlier. I think I just got off the concrete a little bit. Then you flipped me on my roof. Got to be careful. I also checked as well by speeding up time, because I wasn't sure whether a lot of these wind turbines that are on land that's on the verges, whether or not they are earning you money as well. And from what I could tell, I wasn't earning anything extra, so I don't think they were. There are still some plots I don't own that have got wind turbines on. Anyway, swinging all the way down here again, be careful, don't disappear off here. I am going to check one last thing when we get down here. There's a Polish map that I want to get to next. I don't know if I'll be able to do that today, probably tomorrow, that I missed, which also looks really nice. I did not say any of the others aren't really nice. I think I've got about another 6 or 7 that I haven't done, so I'll be plopping those in every now and again. My Let's Play appears to have died, so I don't know what's happened there, but yeah. I'm going to carry on playing it. I'm enjoying playing it, but yeah, don't know what I'm going to do there. Again, with 4 months to go, what do you do? Anyway, just carry on playing the game. That's all you can do. We have got here Agrasius sell point, and next door to that, the animal dealer. So we have gone quite a drive actually, from here back along to this turning, out along all the way to here, and then took this turning here, all the way out here. If we zoom out, so we're now all the way out here. As I said, we've got Agrasius sell point and the animal dealer Agravis next door. What I was going to check was, I think it's off the edge of the map. Although it's part of the verges in the periphery, I don't think we can access it. But I'm going to go and see how far it will let me go. Yeah, I fit the boundary. So where it's darker on the map, because I'm looking thinking that's all part of the periphery and the verges. The darker sections here you can't access, because I thought that's a lot of forestry to sort of give you off the bat. It'll be the same up the top there. That darker section you can't access. The lighter sections you can, and there are some other forestry areas as well. But that's the map. That's AUKRUG HOMFELD by LSHUB Niklas. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.